Prince was a beautiful statue covered with gold leaves and precious gems. So Happy Prince, the statue of Happy Prince was so much covered with like gold leaves, and there were a lot of precious gems on his body. His eyes were made up of sapphires, and all the precious gems were on his body. So one day what happens, so the statue was placed in the center of the city. So one day there was a swallow who was actually going to the Egypt, because the place would be covered with snow and he needed a hot or a warm place. So that's why he was flying to Egypt. So as he was flying to Egypt in order to take a break, so he took a shelter under the sculpture or under the statue of Happy Prince. So he stood in the feet of Happy Prince and he just laid down over there in order to take some rest. So as the swallow was taking rest, there was a water drop which fell onto the swallow. So he was very surprised. Swallow is basically a bird, so he was very surprised to see that what it is. So when he looked up, he saw that Happy Prince statue was actually crying. Now you need to understand one thing here, that statues, they cannot speak, statues, they cannot cry. It is something that is completely non-living thing, but here as it is a story, so what writer is doing, writer is actually making the non-living things move and speak as it is being personified. So that's why Happy Prince is able to speak, talk and do what a normal human beings could actually do, but it cannot move. It is actually stable. So Happy Prince told him that about all the misery around him and asked Swallow to stay and help. So he requested him to help him out, because he was crying, because when he was alive, he used to do a lot of things for the people of the city. But as he is dead now, he's just seeing that everywhere there is misery around him, that everyone is just suffering, and this Happy Prince could not do anything to make people's life better, because he is actually a statue who is just still and who cannot move and help people out. But he asked this bird to help him out and stay with him. Now, bird who was supposed to move decided to become messenger and decided that he cannot exactly help him out. So we see that as Prince requested the swallow to stay, but swallow who wanted to move on further, but seeing Happy Prince crying, so he finally decided that he would stay for some time and would help Happy Prince, and then he would fly back to Egypt. Now as he decided to help, so he became messenger of king. Of Prince. So Prince asked him to take out, first of all, he asked him to take a round of the city and see all the people who are suffering. So then Prince asked him that from here he has been seeing a girl who is so needy and who is a seamstress, who is so needy and has no money to treat her ill son. If she'll not treat her ill son, her son would probably die and Happy Prince would become more sad. So that's why he asked that this is the first person you should go and help. So as he asked the swallow to help him out, so he asked to take out a ruby. So there was a ruby in the sword of the statue of Happy Prince. He asked to take out that and give it to the lady, to the girl who would actually get money to treat her son well. So that's what Swallow did. He followed the orders and take out the ruby and gave it to the seamstress. Next one happened, the crow, when the swallow, he again went on to the round and saw that there was one dramatist. There's a poor dramatist who was not able to write a drama as he was shivering a lot because of cold, and he was so weak, and he was not even able to afford a fire, and was so weak that he could not even afford food for himself. So as he was poor and hungry and could not write down because of the hunger, so Prince decided him to give him something in return. So what Prince asked Swallow to do, Prince asked Swallow to take out now the sapphire from his one eye and give it to the poor dramatist. So Swallow followed the order. He went to the poor dramatist and gave him that. Now the poor dramatist could actually afford it. Now what happened, for the second sapphire, there was a girl who was actually who was again not very well off, and her father beated her because her father asked her to bring some match like wooden sticks basically, and she has by mistake all the matches fell into the canal from her. Now she was being beaten up badly by her father, so in order to help her out, help her out. Now Prince asked the swallow to take out the second sapphire from his eyes and give it to the match girl. So he followed up the orders and he helped her out. Now as both the eyes of Prince was taken out, now Prince could not see anything at all. He could not see misery of the people. So he asked Swallow that as I cannot see, now you can go back, don't stay over here, as there's no use now, we cannot help out the people. But Swallow, who saw that how badly Prince wanted to help his subjects, so he decided to stay over there with Prince, as Prince was blind now and he did not wanted to leave Prince. Now again Swallow, he went and took the round of the city and saw that there are a lot of poor people everywhere. So he went to the Prince and explained that I have seen a lot of poor people everywhere everywhere there is misery, so tell me what should I do. Now Prince asked him to pluck out the leaves, which were gold leaves, which were on his body, and give it to poor people. So Swallow picked up the orders and he followed it, and one by one he started plucking out the gold leaves of the Prince and gave it to the poor people. Now every precious element on the Prince's body was actually finished, and there was nothing left on Prince's body. Plus it was winter's time and it was snowing everywhere. Everything was covered with snow. Now as everything was covered with snow and it was a very harsh winters, now Prince asked Swallow to leave this place and go to Egypt, as if he would stay here for longer period of time, Swallow would die and would not survive this cold weather. But Swallow, who was actually shivering a lot, he could not tolerate this winters a lot, so he says that okay, now I am leaving, but I'm not leaving for the Egypt, but I'm leaving for the house of death. As soon as he said that, he fell at the Prince's feet and he died. So this was the end of the Swallow. But as soon as the Swallow died, then the Prince's leaden heart, which was made up of lead, so his heart was not made up of any precious element, it was made up of lead. His heart also cracked into two parts, and his whole sculpture, it also has broken down, it also collapsed, and it was just lying down. So next day, when the mayor of the city, he came and saw that what happened to this Prince, and the statue was completely shattered. So he ordered that to take it down, as it's looking very ugly in the city, because it's not now having any kind of fancy things upon its body. So he asked it to take it down and melt it and throw it away. So as they melted everything, the body of the prince statue, so everything melted. However, the broken heart did not melt, so it was thrown away in the heap of dust. So it was just thrown away into the dust near where the Swallow's dead body was also there. So it was thrown away at that particular point only. Now what happens, this was the end of the happy Prince and the Swallow, who did a lot for the people, have faced their end in a very certain way. Now God, who was upstairs, was seeing everything, who was up was seeing everything from there, and he asked his angel to bring two most precious things from the city. So as angel came and was searching for the two most precious things, so the angel found the broken heart and the dead bird, which angel represented in front of the God and said that these are the two most precious things which I have found in the city, by which God became very happy and was happy to see that angel judged it right and has taken out these two precious things, because nothing was more precious in the city than the heart of the Prince, which was so huge that even after dying, he wanted to do something for the people, and the dead Swallow, who was just a bird who just forgot his own happiness and started working for the misery of the people. Let's see the conclusion of the story.